welcome to episode 1 on the Storyteller Stitchery YouTube channel. My name's Melissa. I'm the founder and dyer behind Storyteller Stitchery, and I watch a lot of different podcasts on YouTube about fiber arts and knitting and spinning and dyeing and weaving and all the fun things, and I thought it was about time for me to join the community and join the conversation and just be part of that. So I'm going to explain a little bit about myself and some of the different projects that I'm working on and things we've got going on behind the scenes at Storyteller Stitchery. So if you're not familiar with me and the business, my name's Melissa and we live in the Arizona desert. I've been here since 2007. Not originally from here. The accent, I often get asked where I'm from. The usual guess is Irish or Australian, and neither. I'm from northeast England, so yeah, all the way northeast. My husband's also from there. He has a slightly stronger Geordie accent than I do, Geordie being the accent from Newcastle. So yeah, it's a fun time living in Arizona. Very, very different way of life. But we have 2 kids, a 7th grader and a freshman in college. We also have a little French bulldog called Louis, who we rescued in 2021. He was only, I think he was 14 weeks old at the time, but the whole litter had parvo and were given over to a dog rescue agency here in Arizona, and so we were lucky enough to adopt him, and yeah, he's a funny little guy, as most French bulldogs are. Lots of attitude. So a little bit about my background in knitting and fiber arts. So I started knitting as a child. My nana taught me, which is my grandma on my mum's side, when I was probably 6 or 7, and she would cast on for a scarf for me, and I would knit, I don't know, 10 or 15 rows with dropped stitches and randomly picked up stitches from somewhere, and that would be as far as I ever got. And then, a couple of months later, she would cast on another one for me, and so I kind of dropped it and never really picked up knitting from being a child. But for some reason in 2004, I decided that I really wanted to take up knitting. And at that time, there wasn't really much in the way of like YouTube videos or like online resources the way that there are today. And so I actually taught myself from books. Some of it was just kind of reminding myself how to do, the knit and stitch, the knit and purl stitches. So some of it was just kind of that, but a lot of it was new to me, and I didn't understand about, weights of yarn and gauge and, matching or coordinating colors or contrast or like any of the things that go into having like intention around what you're creating. And so yeah, taught myself to knit, like I say, from some books. Made some really ugly things at first, buying whatever yarn was on sale. So I mentioned color because I remember putting together a really ugly scarf where I hadn't even given thought to the color. I just bought the yarn that was on sale because I was thinking, well, I'm starting out, I'm learning, it's gonna, it's probably gonna be full of mistakes and things, and so yeah, anyway, started down that path as a beginner, and fell pretty quickly down the rabbit hole of fiber arts. So by 2005, I had started spinning with a drop spindle, and the goal of getting a wheel. And then I think by 2006, maybe, definitely by 2007, I started dyeing. So initially I actually would spin yarn and then dye it after I'd made the yarn using like Kool-Aid or food colorings, and just exploring like the possibilities of what you can do with some fiber and some color, and doing it in the kitchen, and then kind of over time moved into like acid-based dyeing and some natural dyeing and things like that. But those were kind of the early days of me getting started in it. And at the time, you know, I was like 25, 26 maybe. I was pretty young, didn't have the budget for hand-dyed, like indie dyed yarn. So I remember in 2007, I, as a Christmas gift, got a subscription to the Rock and Sock Club by Blue Moon Fiber Arts. And this was my introduction into beautiful, like hand-dyed, gorgeous yarn. And you know, the nice thing was I could get a single skein, which you got a single skein every month. It came with a pattern, and I could make a pair of socks with it, and I didn't need to go buy any additional yarn. Like I could make a whole finished item with it, and it was within my budget. I could use this luxury yarn, it was within my budget. So anyway, that was kind of how I got started down this whole path. And then, you know, since 2006-ish, dye my own yarn, and then that kind of led on to starting the business Storyteller Stitchery, which I'll get into in a little bit more info. So another thing about me is I love to read, love books. When I was a child, any pocket money that I got went on books. If we were going on holiday or on vacation and I got some pocket money from my nana, I would have my mum look up whatever bookstores were in the area of wherever we were going so that I could go buy. Like that's what my money would go on. And I just have always felt like just words are magic, and stories and fiction and escaping into that and into the world of these other characters who kind of become your friends. And books are just magic. So I do also read a lot of non-fiction and love to learn from others. So for example, right now I'm reading this book, The Lost Flock by Jane Cooper. So I'm only like maybe a third of the way in, but I'm loving reading her story of, obviously it's not fiction, but it is her story of moving to the Orkney Isles and getting her first flock of sheep. And you know, it does have a couple of little photos in the middle there, so you can kind of see a little. And oh, I mean, come on, look at this. Is that not just living the dream? Anyway, so I love to read, and when I started my business, Storyteller Stitchery, I wanted to mesh the two passions, so like fiber arts and books. So I'm the founder and dyer behind Storyteller Stitchery. The business is dedicated to the art of fiber crafts, but everything's inspired by stories and literature and, you know, stories from nature. So like I said, I love the like escapism and the magic of words and of books. And I wanted to create products that kind of, you know, incorporated that into them. So things that are maybe themed, and just, you know, help elevate your craft time and make it even more special. So making by hand is a slow and intentional process, and it's a time to like really connect with yourself, to relax, and to create something beautiful, to make something with your two hands that is beautiful. And I love that I get to make and create yarn and fiber and embroidery threads that are hand dyed and you know, just feel special, that are inspired by characters and worlds from books and stories and adventures and, you know, nature and place, and that people take those things and then turn around and make something truly special that tells their own story. So we I really try to explore that kind of intersection between crafting and storytelling. The products that we have are we use like natural fibers and beautiful colorways, and so whether you're going to use it to make something for yourself, or maybe like an item that you're gifting, like maybe it's a baby, you know, a little baby sweater or something like that, or, you know, something like a, you know, a blanket that's going to be a family heirloom that will be used for decades to come. Like whatever it is that people are making, just the thought that that tells a story. What you choose to make, I mean, the choice alone in the pattern is, you know, and then the colors that you choose, and how you might modify it or not, but just everything that goes into making it. It's like this expression of yourself, an expression from the soul, really. Like making something is like, I just feel like it's like producing something from the soul. So I'm very mindful of that when I'm coming up with colorways and in the products that we make. And so yeah, that's kind of the inspiration behind what we make. It is a family business, so I do all of the dyeing and a lot of everything else. My husband does have a full-time job, but he does help out, and so he will often do like the skeins and twisting of the yarn, adding the, you know, the labels to it. And then if you've met us at events, so we go to some different fiber events, if you've met us there, then you've probably met Paul, because he's usually right there with me helping out. So yeah, anyway, that's a little bit about me, a little bit about the business. It's kind of a longer intro, but with it being episode 1, I just wanted to give a little bit more information about who I am and the business. So I want to also kind of show you some of the things, projects I'm working on, finished object, some other fun stuff that we've got going on. So hopefully you'll stick around and watch. All right, so my current project is in this little bag, which has this super cute little mountain design on, and it's by Prickly, what is it? The Prickly Owl Co., and they're based out of Florida. So I don't know, I've had this maybe, it's not new, I've had it maybe a year or something. But it's just a nice little bag, a nice little size. So right now it's holding my current project, which I'm loving, which is the Dartmoor Sweater V-neck by, I think I'm gonna say this wrong, Kaidri or Kaidri. Kaidri maybe. I'll put the link to the pattern below. So this is where I'm currently at. So you can't tell too much, but basically it's really interesting construction. I've not knitted a sweater like this before. So you knit this really long I-cord, and this is the starting point. You just knit this long I-cord, and then you pick up and you knit, and you start knitting the back, and then you put those stitches on hold, and you pick up 1/2 for, so this is the back that I'm showing you, so this is the left shoulder. So you pick up for the stitches for the shoulder and you knit, and then you do the same, you put it on hold and you knit up you pick up and knit for the other shoulder, and then flipping to the front. So once you've knitted each and they're long enough, then which I'm at the point where you have just joined down here for the V-neck. So the yarn I'm using, it's both Storyteller Stitchery yarn. So one is the Mythic base, which we have, which is an Aran weight, 100% superwash British Blueface Leicester. The other one is our Romance base. So this one is 65% baby Suri alpaca and 35% silk. So I'm knitting them held together. Both of them are colorway Love Good, so you can see they look a little bit different because they're little different bases. But Love Good is inspired by our favorite Ravenclaw, Luna Lovegood. So yeah, so that's the yarn. And then when it's held together, let me see if I can give you a close-up. Maybe we'll do the back. You can see, it just gives, you can't really see the romance on its own, but it just gives a really nice kind of soft halo to it. So yeah, that's my current project. I don't have a ton of time to knit, so I'm kind of slow moving on it, but I'm loving it. It's really enjoyable, and it's so enjoyable to do something that's like a different technique as well. So like I say, that I-cord, that's a brand new one for me. So yeah, anyway, that is my current project. Recently finished project, I forgot to grab it. I will go grab it. Okay, so recent finished object is the Sophie scarf by Tness. I actually finished it a few weeks ago, but I still haven't blocked it, and I still haven't weaved in the ends, but it is finished nonetheless. It's okay though, because it's way too hot to wear anything like this in Arizona right now, so I got some time. So this one is knitted on Storyteller Stitchery folklore base, which is the Marino tweed DK weight. So this color is called Dragon Rider. And what a fun pattern this was. Like, I can see why. I forgot how many I saw. There was like 16,000 projects or something on Instagram. No, on Ravelry. A lot. I'm sure if you haven't made one, you've probably at least seen it. But I can see why. It was like such a fast, easy knit. So I cast this on the last day we were at Vogue Knitting Live in New York. So we were a vendor there this year for the first time, which was a lot of fun. But I cast this on the last day and kind of knitted on it on the plane ride home, and had it finished up shortly after I landed home. It was really fast. So yeah, this is, like I say, Dragon Rider colorway. I didn't have a skein to show you, so I grabbed this one so you could see the yarn, you know, in the skein. So this is the folklore, which is the Marino tweed DK. This colorway is George's Marvelous Medicine, which is a Roald Dahl book, one of my absolute favorite books as a child. I just thought it was this magical thing where he would kind of go and, you know, mix up all of these potions and concoctions, and anyway, Roald Dahl was one of the first authors, I think, to like just show you this whole other world of like crazy stuff, and where you would kind of escape into the books and into the magic and mystery and fun. Anyway, I was really young when this was one of my most favorite books, but I did have to do a colorway for that. So that's the color, but you can see in the skein it has a lot of tweediness to it, but it doesn't knit up quite so heavily tweedy. So I know it's a different color, but it's still, it always knits up like this. So you can see like little flecks of tweed, but it's not, you know, it's not super heavy tweed. So I think it's a little bit misleading because it looks like it's going to be a lot more tweed when it's in the skein than how it actually knits up. And I'm going to put the links to the patterns and everything down below if you're interested. Hey, okay, sorry about that. I completely forgot that my daughter had a dentist appointment and remembered in time, but it meant I had to quickly stop the video and run. So picking back up, I was about to tell you about Storyteller Stitchery Society, which is our monthly subscription that we launched in January. So it's pretty new, but it kind of wraps in everything that Storyteller Stitchery stands for. So every month I choose a different book that acts as the inspiration for that month. So for example, February was inspired by The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And so I choose a book that I love. The genres are different. It's like a full spectrum. There's classic fiction. Januaries was inspired by the Chronicles of Narnia, so classic children's book. We got some fantasy coming up. It could be any genre at all. It's a different one each month, and basically, you know, I take a book that I love and use that to inspire the colorway. So there's different options. You can choose yarn, fiber, or embroidery, and each of those we can set them up as a guild. So you can be in a yarn guild, embroidery guild, fiber guild. You can also kind of mix and match, and so some people get all three, some choose two of them that they're interested in. So one thing that everybody gets is a letter from the dyer. So like I say, I choose the book, and then I go through my usual process of designing the colorway. And so that always for me starts with creating a mood board, and it's not really picking up so great on this screen. The colors aren't quite showing up correctly, but I put together my mood board with kind of a quote from the book, and some of the guiding colors and some imagery that I use to kind of inspire the colorway. And so in the letter I talk about, you know, how I came up with the colorway. Everybody also gets a tea recipe. So it is a tea cocktail with the option for a mocktail, so alcohol-free version. I always include that. And so the tea is an optional add-on to the kit. Most members do get the tea, but not everybody does. So if you're not a big tea drinker, you don't need to. It's not available to purchase on its own, but it is available as an add-on. So for example, and it's always a 2-ounce bag, which is quite a big bag. So in January, with the Chronicles of Narnia theme, it was the Earl Grey rose tea, and so it's always a delicious loose leaf tea. And I very intentionally choose the tea itself, but then also the recipe themed to the book and the parcel, this curated parcel of beautiful things that you receive each month. So let's jump into looking at some of the actual products. So for this Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I went for actually very much in line. I don't always go with whatever the cover of a book is, but this colorway did very much go with this this particular colorway. So it has kind of the rich greens and some coppers. And so the yarn for this month is on our Fable Superwash worsted weight base, and it has lots of these rich greens and copper tones, with some navy speckles in there. The fiber is on Cheviot, which is I think it's fair to say is a little bit of an unusual base. Not a lot of dyers carry it. I chose to carry it because it's, it's a slightly woollier wool. Like it's a little bit toothier than like merino. Like you see a lot of merino and those softer wools, but this one's actually great, especially if you're a newer spinner. This one's easier to spin and draft because it has a slightly longer staple and it has like a little bit of tooth to it. So rather than those like slippery, super fine, soft fibers, this one is a little bit easier. So I carry it in the store, but I decided to use this base as February's fiber base. And so it does change every month. That's one of the things that I got feedback on from members was that they like having a variety and to try spinning different fibers. So it's, the fun of the theme and the book related items and colorways, but also another benefit is you get to try some different fibers. And so one of the things that I include, if you are in the Fiber Guild, and I just started doing this in February, but I'm putting together a little information card. So You can see, you know, the staple length and the micron count, and some information about the breed itself. So if it's a new fiber to you, or just as you kind of collect it, you know, you have a little bit of information about it. So the other option is the embroidery threads, and I carry different hand-dyed embroidery threads in my shop. They are 100% grade A mulberry silk, so they have a lot of shine to them, beautiful shine and drape. I'm not sure if that comes across in the camera, but they're so soft because they're silk. This is just a little you know, the end of the skein, just like in yarn, right? It's the end of the skein, so we'll try and tuck that in to make it a little bit neater. And so they always come with a little tag. All of the embroidery threads do, but obviously this one is the Storyteller Stitchery Society tag, and it has the colorway and then a little bit of information about it. So you can see that the collection is very coordinated, but not, I mean, it's never going to be an exact replica, because just fiber to yarn to embroidery thread is a little bit different. But this one, it was February's collection. And then I thought it'd be fun as well to show you January's, just so you can see the difference. Let me put those down. All right, so January's was Chronicles of Narnia. And actually, let me see if I can find the letter first. Where did I put that? To give you an idea from the mood board. All right, so here's the mood board for January. So Mr. Tness is the name of the colorway, and you can see that I was very much inspired by the kind of Mr. Tness's cozy home, this like retreat away from Narnian winter. And so we've got, you know, some of the colors here to reflect the cold winter, but also the warmth and the coziness in Mr. Tness's home where he hosted Lucy for tea. So this is the yarn from January, and it is on our Chronicle base, which is 100% superwash merino, DK weight and 4-ply, and it just has the little speckles of the pink in there, and there's some little speckles of gold in there. And the fiber for January was, I believe it was merino. Yes, we use merino, superwash merino. And then the embroidery. Too many things in front of me. There it is. All right, so the embroidery looks like this. So the embroidery is always 5 skeins. Each skein is 3 grams, and the 2-ply, 26 yards per color, so 26 times 5, and obviously hand dyed to coordinate with the collection for that month. So maybe you are a knitter, or you crochet, or you do some kind of, you know, you do weaving and you're interested in yarn. Fiber obviously would be for spinning. You could felt, although some, I mean, if you already felt, you know this, but if you're new to felting, not all wools are great for felting, not all wool, and so because there is a variety of fibers, so each month, you know, we kind of switch it up. So the merino would be great for that, but the chivia, I suspect, I haven't tried to felt it, but I think it probably wouldn't be so great. But that's just a guess, I don't know for sure. But I know some wools felt great, like merino, and then some not so much. So yeah, that is the Mr. Tness colorways. Let's see, so I showed you the letter, the fiber information, the tea recipe. So the other thing that everybody gets is a little welcome kit, just welcoming you to the society when you join. And I think I'm not going to open it because I want it to be a surprise, but I can tell you that inside it does have a society sticker, that you could put on your water bottle, your journal, things like that. And it also has like a wooden notion or tool that's exclusive to the society, that you can only get through the society. So yeah, everybody gets that in their first kit. And all of the colorways, all of the, you know, the society colorways are exclusive to society members. So I do have a society shop, member shop on the website, and you get a password each month. It changes each month based on the theme. The password's always, you know, connected to the theme. So you can log into the shop and, you know, pick up any extra items. So if you want an additional yarn, or, you know, whatever you might want, you can do that, and it does ship for free with your next parcel. So if it charges you, I mean, every time I ship anything, I make sure to refund any shipping overages. But with the society member purchases from the society shop, I refund the shipping charge, and it just ships for free with your parcel. So yeah, if you sign up before the last day to sign up to receive the next month's kit is always the last day of the prior month. So for example, if you want April's kit, you need to sign up by the last day in March. And that's just because I need that little bit of lead time to you know, make everything, and you know, the parcels are all kind of wrapped in tissue, and I want it to feel like this beautiful gift that arrives to you each month in the mail, and you know, that it's all lovely and, like I say, themed. So yeah, I just need that little bit of lead time to make sure everything's ready to ship on time. So if you, for example, subscribed on April 1st, then May would be the first parcel that you would receive. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the society membership. There's also, I've got a couple of things posted on my Instagram account, so you could go see. I think that there's a reel with some photos of me spinning this one up, which I haven't actually finished. I only got one bobbin done. I need to find some time to go back and do that. Actually, when I do, maybe I'll share the yarn as like a finished object in a future video. But anyway, yeah, so let me know in the comments if you have any questions about all of that. But just to recap, you can choose fiber. No, that is not fiber. I mean, it is, but yarn, embroidery, fiber. Those are options every month. And you'll sign up to whatever kind of combination or individual one that you want, with the option to add on 2 ounces of tea, which is a lot of tea. There's a lot of tea, so I don't know exactly how many cups, but it's a lot. And then you get all of these other little goodies and information. And we haven't started yet, but I'm going to pretty soon launch some society member get-togethers via Zoom, so we can get together and you know, like a little craft night, and do that monthly, and then possibly a book club as well, if you guys are interested in that. You definitely don't need to read the book, whatever the theme is. Like, you can enjoy, you know, the product, whether it's fiber or embroidery, or like, you can enjoy it on its own without even, you know, reading or knowing the story. But that's always an option if you want to kind of take part in it that way. All right, what else? So I wanted to also let you know about some upcoming events that we've got going on. So April is super busy. We have technically 3 events, and then a 4th that's right at the start of May. So Arizona Fiber Festival is happening. We're going to be a vendor there. And then we're going up to Maker Fest in Loveland, Colorado. We'll be at YarnCon in Chicago towards the end of April. And then we're at the H&H trade show event, and that's like the 1st to the 3rd of May, I think. But everything's listed on the events page on my website, so I'll put the link to that below, so you can go there and get some more information on the events. I also make sure to have like links to each event's website, so you can go get information on, you know, parking and venue and everything like that. And I add our booth numbers. So if you are coming to any of those events, please stop by the booth and say hi. I love to just get a chance to, you know, say hi and meet people. And I think that's it. So my plan is to start posting weekly new videos up on a Friday. So please subscribe if you're interested in getting updates. I'm going to do some kind of behind the scenes in the dye studio, and you know, product releases. I think we'll have some fun giveaways coming up, and obviously updates on different colors and themes if you want to kind of follow along with that. I do also have a website, Instagram, and Substack, so I'll post the links to all of those below if you wanted to follow me there. I also have on the website, if anybody who signs up for our newsletter, I created a free craft planner specifically for yarn lovers. So you can track your yarn stash, your projects. It's good for knitters, crocheters, you know, it doesn't matter whatever yarn fun that you're into. And there's two different versions. They are identical in content, but one is digital and one is printable. So it just depends if you like to use your, you know, your tablet. I sized the digital for an iPad screen, but it'll work on any device. You just need to use a notes app like GoodNotes. And then the printable version, obviously you would print and complete by pen, but completely free. So if you sign up to the newsletter, you get that in your inbox. So I'll put the link to that below as well, but it's just right there on the website, which is www.storytellerstitchery.com. That's it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.